Hey guys, it's Boki here from Gigi's Fabric Shop Home to Juki Junkies, and today's video is going to be a comparison on the top dogs. And what we refer to as the top dogs around here is the Juki NX7, the DX3000, and the DX4000. So we're going to be comparing these. I know it's a little bit hard sometimes to really understand what are the differences. There's a lot of similarities, but there are some very important things to know about the similarity or differences. So we're going to go over that today. I'm going to dive in first on the NX7 and the DX3000 because these are what I call like identical twins with like different birthmarks. And then we got the cousin over here that is noticeably different from the twins. So we'll start off with these two and then see why you should buy one of these machines. Alrighty, you guys, so I'm going to be referencing the comparison chart on the top dogs, which you can actually find on JukiJunkies.com under the machines. If you look all the way down, it says machine comparisons. There's lots of charts in there. So I'm going to be referencing this for a lot of the statistical parts like stitch numbers and all that stuff. So if you've noticed on our YouTube channel, we do have a very more in-depth, thorough video on the NX7 and the DX4000. So I would highly suggest watching those because I do dive a little bit deeper into the features like that built-in walking foot system and things like that. So watch those if you want to learn a little bit more deep dive. Today is more of a broader comparison. So let's start off with the NX7 and the DX3000. So these two are what I call identical twins. The reason why these two models are like this is because pre-COVID times, Juki had specific rules on which machines could be sold online and which ones were sold in the store. So after all that stuff happened, the rules changed and now you can buy both online or both in store. So that's why we have the Quilt Virtuoso Pro line, which was the in-person line, and then this was the online version of this machine. So as far as stitches go, these both have the same amount of stitches, 351 stitches, including 4 fonts. These are computerized machines, so they offer lots of variety, right? And they do sew at a speed of 1,050 stitches per minute, so they're pretty quick. One of the most admirable features is that throat space. A reason why someone would go for this top dog machine is because it has that 12-inch throat space, and that's common on all 3 models here. So if you're a quilter, you're looking for that extra space, you know, free motion quilting, this makes a very big difference, not to mention the impeccable lighting on all these machines. So if you are a quilter, you'll really admire that. As far as accessories go on these 2 machines, on the NX7, you're going to get 13 accessories and you're going to get 16 here. All right, so I'm pretty sure in this video clip later we'll go over the accessories, but they are listed in the comparison chart as well. Juki Smart Feed system, that is something that is super unique to this line of the machines. You can't find this on any other Juki machine series. It is a built-in walking foot system. It's very cool. I have dived deeper into it. I might show it briefly here today in the video. It's a customizable built-in walking foot system. It's wonderful for all kinds of sewing, from the thick fabrics to the thin fabrics. So even if you sew a little bit of everything, I do an occasional bag, I do some garment sewing every now and then, I do quilting. You can really accommodate to all those projects with that built-in walking foot system, unlike a traditional walking foot where you just put it on and it's one set and you're ready to go. That's really it. On these, it's much more customizable and you can make it travel faster for thicker fabrics or travel greater, you know, and vice versa. So I do go a little bit deeper into that in the other videos. Couple things to notate is you see how this machine has a free arm? All 3 have a free arm, but they don't have a cover that goes on these free arms. And sometimes that's a deal breaker for some people, but do note that you do get the extension table on all 3 models. On the DX4000, however, you do get the cover, and unfortunately it's not something you can buy on these machines. So do keep that in mind if that is something that's really important to you, having that free arm cover or just simply using the extension table. You can always drop it down in a cabinet and get it nice and flush with your table. Let's see here. So these machines do sew at a max stitch width of 7 millimeters. So these are 7 millimeter machines, okay? They weigh about 32 pounds, so they are a little heavy. I mean, there's a lot of machine here, lots of things that it does, so it is a little bit of a heavier machine. We got 6 LED lights on these machines. Remember I talked about the lighting and how bright these are? You have 6 LED lights, so very similar to the beautiful lighting you see on this 4000. That's kind of reciprocated between all of these model. So lots of similarities here. If you notice on the face of the machine, just cosmetically, they both have the same amount of screen. If you notice on the 4000, there's this big, larger kind of iPad style screen where these are half of the size. So something to keep in mind, and just a disclaimer out there, I never want to, you know, bash a certain machine or push a certain machine on you. I just like to bring out valid points so you can decide for yourself if it's something that you would fit in your needs or maybe it won't fit in your needs. So half of the screen size. So you have to click through a little bit of more things to get where you need. Navigation is much simpler on the DX4000. So if you're not very tech savvy or you're maybe not the most comfortable in that, or maybe it's a bigger learning curve from what machine you're going to this machine, keep that in mind. Not to say it's difficult to navigate through. I think they did a beautiful job for the amount of screen space they have here, but this is a lot easier. It's very similar to a phone. You got swipe right, swipe left, swipe up, swipe down. You can see that in the DX4000 video. So you have your needle up and down function, your presser foot up and down, your thread cutter, your speed control, of course. You have your lock stitch, your reverse lever, a couple key features here when you have the screen on. Your stitch length and stitch width dials are both the same on these machines. They're little knobs on the machine where you can adjust them. Up here you have all your built-in stitches, and remember they both have the same amount of stitches, so these should be very similar, how they're categorized. And yeah, another thing I want to notate really quick is the needle plates. So David just did a really nice thorough video on the needle plates, so you guys can watch that, learning how to take those off. All three models have a needle plate system with 2 plates and 2 different feed dogs. He's going to go ahead and link that below for you guys so you can watch that at any time to see how to do that. But that is another cool feature. You get 2 plates and 2 different sets of feed dogs so you can accommodate to whatever projects you are doing. Alrighty, so as far as these 2 machines go, they're going to be identical. Functionality-wise, you know, features-wise, the only difference between the DX3000 and the NX7 is accessories. Everything else is the same. Do notate I don't have the extension table on this machine right now, just because it wouldn't fit, but you do get an extension table on both. So I'm going to tell you what accessories comes with the NX7 today. You get the 13 accessories. Remember, reference this chart. You get a zipper foot, overcasting presser foot, blind stitch, automatic buttonhole, manual buttonhole, patchwork presser foot, open toe presser foot, a ruler work foot, a straight stitch presser foot, a straight stitch throat plate with the feed dogs, and a 1/4 inch foot with a guide. So those are all the accessories you're going to get with the NX7, including the extension table and a little cover that goes over this. And then you get all of that with the 3000 plus these 3 extra accessories, which is the rolled hem, the adapter shank, and the zigzag free motion quilting foot. So there's that. Now we're going to jump into the differences between the 4000 to the 3000. So just to give you guys a little visual of the comparisons between these 2 machines, just to walk through, we got all those features, our built-in stitches, our threading up here, the bobbin winder. Then when you look at the 3000, you'll notice that it gets the exact same. The only thing that really changes visually is going to be the color of this screen panel right here. It's purple for the Sayaka, which is the Quilt Virtuoso Pro line, but everything else is identical. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the DX4000 compared to the DX3000. So we know that the 3000 and the NX7 are identical. This is technically the top of the line within those 2 machines, so let's compare these 2. I talked about a lot of things. I talked about the Juki Smart Feed system, but I did want to mention a couple other key features that do make these machines extra special. So the pivoting feature is one of those. If you've ever dived into the DX7 or the DX5, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's when the presser foot lifts up off of the plate when you're doing appliques or when you take your foot off of the pedal. It'll allow you to adjust without having to touch anything, which is very nice. So just to show you guys that pivot feature, when we're sewing along, let's say I was doing a curve, I wanted to stop, the presser foot raises up for me so I can turn, start back up, change again, do that with no problem at all.
And you can, of course, do this with the foot pedal as well, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So when you have the foot pedal, I'm using the start-stop function on the machine right now. You can only do that when the pedal is not plugged in, by the way, guys, all right? That's across the board for all Juki computerized machines. which is very nice. You have a micro lifter essentially on this machine where you can raise up the presser foot off of the fabric to have greater clearance for bulkier things. Alrighty, you guys, so you'll notice down here on this machine, this is the presser foot pressure. It's a little different on the 3000 and NX7, but on the 4000, it's located right here. So when you're talking about presser foot pressure, when you start going into the negatives, you're gonna start noticing the presser foot lifting all the way up. So if I lift it to negative 2.5, you'll start seeing that the foot is wobbly and now there's clearance underneath this, underneath the presser foot. So that's the way you can control if you're working with something really bulky, really thick, to kind of alleviate, make yourself have a larger clearance here for those thicker materials.
And that's across the board on all three machines?
On DX4000, 3000, and the NX7. And then of course that Juki Smart Feed system, which is super, super nice and customizable. All right, and then the Juki Smart Feed system is located on the back side of your, where the presser feet snap on. It's really easy to engage. You just drop it right down, and then on the screen, there's a Juki Smart Feed section, and then this is where you can make it travel less. Okay, you see how easy the navigation is on the 4000? You can make it travel less, so that would be ideal when you're working with very silky fabrics or something where you need like a faster grab on the material, something very slippery. And then if you were a bag maker, you could make the strides larger, so then that way the strides are bigger and helping feed that material through. In those videos on the DX3000 and 4000, I do elaborate on that, so we can just set it back to kind of like that middle setting there, press out of the screen, and then I just go to sew. And that little walking foot's right on the back side, helping me go all the way through. You can see it kind of engaging in the back. And remember guys, this is across the board for all three models today. And then the foot pedal is also programmable on these machines. It's actually really nice. If you've seen the foot pedals for the TLs, it's just one foot pedal, and when you heel click it, it does the cutting function or whatever you program it to do. On these machines, it's a separate panel. So you have the part where you drive, and then there's a little pedal right next to it where you can customize it to do what's better for you. So those are some of those really nice, more highlighted, upgraded features to the top dogs. So comparing these two machines, automatically off the bat, you're going to notice the screens, right? So you'll notice that the screen here is far larger, more iPad type style. And navigating through this machine is like navigating through a phone. You swipe left and right to get to whatever category you need. You scroll up and down to find those things that you're looking for. So it's really, really nice and easily accessible to things. You don't have to think about it too hard. This machine, the DX4000, also does have Wi-Fi capabilities. So what does that mean? With this larger screen, you can connect to your Wi-Fi at home or wherever you are, and you can access YouTube videos. So this video right now, you can watch on your DX4000 and get any refreshers that you may need, or you can just listen to your favorite song, whatever makes you happy, but you can watch YouTube on there. You have access to your manual, so you can watch or, reference your manual at any time without maybe grabbing the physical copy. There's also a little smart section where there's a QR code where it'll show you helpful tips and tricks. You scan that QR code and it takes you to a little clip to show you that feature on that machine. And I dive deeper into all those things on the DX4000 video, so check that out in the description below if this machine is catching your eye, okay? As far as stitches go, this machine has 368 stitches and 4 fonts versus the 351. So a couple extra things there to play around with. Accessory-wise, you're going to get 17 extra accessories on this machine versus the 16 and then the 13 on the NX7. And then you also get that free arm cover, which is unique to the 4000 only. You can't get that for any other model. And you do get an extension table as well. One other thing that's unique to this machine in particular, the 4000, is the bobbin sensor. So there is a sensor inside the bobbin area in the bobbin case where when you're running out of bobbin, the machine will notify you. It'll say, hey, by the way, like you have very little bobbin left. Whereas the 3000 and the NX7 just have a countdown system. So you would put a full bobbin in there, set the countdown to be full, and then based on the stitches, it'll kind of let you know where you're at on that bobbin. So that's really nice. It eliminates the guessing on there. You have a bigger LED panel in the throat space here. It's pretty large, you guys. This is like a big LED. Just, they're not messing around with the lighting down here. It's very nice and a nice bright white light. And you can actually control the temperature of the lighting on this machine as well. So if you wanted it to be more warm or more cool, you can set that to your liking. So very special machine here. I would highly encourage you to watch the video where we dive deep into that. Okay, so in a nutshell, you guys, the DX3000 and the DX4000 share a lot of things in common, but the 4000 does have a couple extra bells and whistles, like that bigger, grander lighting that you see here. It comes with that built-in Wi-Fi capability, the larger, easier to navigate screen, and that bobbin sensor that's in there, and of course that free arm cover, okay? So everything that the DX3000 and the NX7 have, the DX4000 can do, with a couple things to make your life easier, okay? So both machines are fabulous if you are a versatile type of quilter or you want to get more into free motion quilting, you need that larger workspace. This is the machine for you. All right, you guys. So we're going to do a quick little roll on these machines to just see everything, see those visual differences here. Make sure you go to JukiJunkies.com to better understand those price differences and to understand those accessory differences as well. All right, because that's in that comparison chart. Here's that 3000. Oh, let me click that little. There we go. You see the screen here? Things are kind of broken up into file folders. You know, a little bit more condensed. It's literally half the size of the 4000, but still flawless and very well organized here. All right, and then we move over to the 4000. All right, we have our screen here. It's much more sleek, a little bit easier to see. Things are bigger, double the amount of space, beautiful lighting, and just great machines here, you guys. Just really quick, I wasn't intending to show you guys this, but I noticed that when I was on it, there is a history section on this machine. So in your history section on the DX4000, this is unique to it, you can look up the past stitches that you've done. So if you had something, instead of saving it onto the machine, which you can do on all three models, there is a history section. So it'll just say, hey, you were working on these. It'll show your last couple stitches, and you can click it if you want to go back to that stitch in case if you didn't save it. Notice on the screen, you guys, right here, it acts like it's the needle plate. So you'll see the feed dogs, and then this little opening is mimicking your needle plate. So watch as I do this fun little wavy stitch, which is great for quilting. It's moving on the screen and showing exactly where it is on the needle plate, which is really neat. So I wanted to show you guys the navigation on there. Again, this is all your main quick settings, tension, your zigzag. You can change it to be shorter, longer, tighter, even more longer, so you can do all those adjustments and it animates on the screen. And then up here, you scroll through your history, you scroll through your Juki sewing net, where this is where you'll be able to access YouTube and the manual once you're connected to your network. Settings are found in here, and then support is up here, which is your instructional manual. Some quick links to a couple things here, which is, it's just fabulous that it's on the screen. So there's a navigation on that. Let's just do a quick little run through of what it's like on the 3000. Alrighty, you guys, so now let's just do a quick little navigation of the 3000. I do just want to let you guys know the flashing that you're seeing right now is just because the camera is just not shooting as fast enough for it to just stay clear like it is in person. So that flashing doesn't happen in person. It's just how the camera's picking it up right now. So I apologize for that. But here is the screen, okay? So it's a little bit smaller. Things are categorized in files. You can still see changes. So like when you change your stitch length, you'll see that. When you maneuver the stitches, you'll see the needle move and it move on the, so like you see the opening, that's acting like the plate, just like how we saw in the 4000. It's just not as, in detail. You have your feed dogs settings here where you can drop those up and down. You have your positioning the needle to end down or up in here. The stitches are put in categories here, so you have to kind of pull that file folder open to be able to see that, okay? So things are found here, all right, like this, and then there's pages. So they did the best that they could as far as navigation goes for the screen size, but it is touch screen across the board. Here's our presser foot pressure adjustment. Again, if we go into the negatives, that's gonna lift that foot up, just like I showed on the 4000, all right? Our Juki Smart Feed system is right here. It looks a little bit different. You make it go greater, make it go less, and then there is that middle setting, so you can set it back. And then our tension is found right here as well, and our pivoting feature is turned on right here as well. So a little bit different, okay, but still flawless, very easy to go through. It's very light on the touch. You don't have to press very hard, and you still have those dials to change the important things. So let's just do a quick little sew out. Oh, let's pick up that speed a little bit there. Cut our thread. Ooh la la. I love that little wave stitch. That wave is so awesome for quilting. So many possibilities on this machine, you guys. Just got to take them all in. And I always say my favorite homework assignment is when you get this machine, go home and stitch out as many stitches as possible so you can see all the beautiful things that the machine can do. Alright, you guys, and that concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it got you a little excited about the Top Dog series. There's a lot to admire about these machines. We are a Juki dealer, so if you are anticipating purchasing this machine or you're trying to narrow down your decision, please do not hesitate to give us a call. It's 813-661-9000, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Or you can send us an email at sewingmachines411@gmail.com. But JukiJunkies.com is a great resource for you guys. So make sure you like this video, show us your support, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we have new content out there. And there's lots of references I mentioned down in the description below. So make sure you guys check that out because there are other things that you could watch while you're narrowing down your decision. So I really quickly just wanted to address this machine is flashing. It's because these are white LED lights. So it doesn't really read well with the phones. So it doesn't do that in person. It's just stay on the camera type thing. So I just wanted to address that. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.